Hey everyone, welcome back to another SAT math video. This is a question from the official practice test 5 from 2024, linked in the description below. In triangle RST, the measure of angle R is 63 degrees. Which of the following could be the measure in degrees of angle S? And then they give us a couple of different options, right? So we need to basically understand first what the fundamental concept is, and you might be wondering, how do we figure out what angle S could be if they only gave us one angle? Well, if we know the fundamental concept of the number of degrees in a polygon, right? In any polygon. But we'll just focus on triangles for now. But there's actually a way to calculate the number of degrees in any polygon. There's like a formula for that. We don't really need to go that deep, but the main thing here you want to understand is if we know how many degrees are in a triangle, right? Because usually a triangle can only be how many degrees? It can only be 180 degrees, right? All the angles in a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees, regardless of what the triangle may look like. Right? It might be a right triangle. It might be like a really skinny triangle, right? That might not even look like a triangle, right? So, but my point being that any triangle will always have 180 degrees. So, if they tell us that we have some triangle RST, right? So let's just call this RST. If we have the angle R and it is 63 degrees, we know that both of these angles, when combined together, they should not be greater than 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, 63 degrees, right? Both of these angles combined should not be equal to whatever this evaluates to. Why? Because remember, we only have 180 degrees in total for the entire triangle. So 63 degrees are already taken up in angle R. So that means how many degrees are left over for angle T and angle S? Well, we just will need to subtract and figure that out. So what I'm going to do is do it by hand. So this one is going to turn into 7 because we borrow 1. So then 10 minus 3, that's going to be 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then 1 minus 0 is going to be 0. So we can have at most 117 degrees split between angle T and angle S, right? So T plus S should not be greater than 117 degrees, right? So it should be less than or equal to 117 degrees, right? So the sum of the remaining angles in RST must be less than or equal to 117 degrees. Actually, not less than or equal to, right? Because remember, a triangle will always equal 180 degrees. So this should not be less than or equal to. That was my bad. That actually needs to be equal to, because it must equal 117 degrees. It cannot be less than, because otherwise it won't be a triangle, right? So let's see if we can use this information to our advantage. So angle S, it could not equal 117 degrees because you cannot have an angle of 0 degrees. Like, what does that even make sense? Like, that doesn't make sense, right? So I would not put any option that is equal to 117 degrees or greater than it. So that means we can cross out that, we can cross out that, we can cross out that. Why? Because all of these are greater than 117 degrees. So it leaves us with only one option, option A. So there you have it. That is how you solve this one. What did we do? We just remembered that for any polygon, we kind of know the number of degrees in a polygon. And specifically, you should definitely know how many degrees in total are in any triangle. Always going to be 180 degrees. So we used this to our advantage and we figured out, okay, since there's 180 degrees total in a triangle, 63 of those degrees are in angle R. That means 180 minus 63 gives us 117 degrees remaining to split between the two remaining angles. And since we knew this information, we could deduce that angle S must be only, or it could only be 116 degrees because all these other ones exceed our limit that we determined right here. So that's it for this video. Check out Khan Academy and some of the other links in the description below. Hope you found this useful. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.